If you're only going to take one thing from this video, let it be that everything depends on your concept of yourself. Everyone has a specific mental image of who they are and what it is that they believe in. The way we look at ourselves is one of the main factors which determines our successes and our failures. Hello everyone, my name is Edna Njeri, and on this video I'm going to be talking about self-image. So our self-image is built up throughout our lives, and it stems from our experiences that we go through. So on one hand we have the experiences that we go through, and then on the other hand we have our brain servo mechanism, which, to put it simply, is something in our brain that corrects our self-image. The great news is we can actually mold our own self-image, and then in turn we will have control of our servo mechanism. So the thing with our brains is that they're so much more powerful than you even realize, and they can really lie to you a lot by means of our imagination. And the thing is that most times our brains can't actually distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. And you know how this is true? Let me give you guys an example. Have you ever just imagined something? Let's use an example of a negative thought for this. You could literally be about to, let's say, stand up to give a presentation in class, and then you start thinking about all the things that could possibly go wrong. Nothing has happened yet. This is all just imagined in your brain. But it starts to translate physically, where your palms will literally start sweating because your brain is able to convince you to react to a thought that has not yet even become a reality. Okay, so how does this now relate to your self-image? As I've said, our self-image is a compound of all our internalized experiences. So this doesn't only mean the real experiences, it also includes the imagined experiences that we have. I don't know if you guys remember this doctor named Dr. Maximus, who I mentioned in my video around mindfulness meditation. So he's back again with some new facts, and in his same book, which I mentioned, Psycho-Cybernetics, he talks about self-image, and he talks about how we can change our self-image. So you have your existing self-image of yourself, right? How can you now start to control and improve the self-image? You start by having synthesized experiences. So what's a synthesized experience? It's something that happens all in your head. And what you do is you create an image in your mind of... So you start by creating a realistic but ideal image of yourself in your brain. Basically, just picture your ideal self and imagine the activities that you would do as this person, right? Let's use an example to make it a bit real. So, you are someone who would like to step into the content space, start sharing content online, in whatever format, video or whatever. So let's name this person Leaf. So Leaf wants to be a content creator. And Leaf has a number of self-limiting beliefs in regard to their ability to be a content creator. They don't either believe in the power of their voice, or they think that their current following is too small for them to start. So with Leaf's current mindset, if they start creating content, then in the process they will consistently feel inadequate, even as they shoot, they edit, whatever they do. But if Leaf was to visualize themselves in their mind and create this synthetic experience, as they start to create content, as they shoot the content, edit the content, go through whatever the process may look like, then it starts to feel normal to them. The process starts to feel normal to you. And you see, the thing is, once it feels normal, it becomes more achievable for you. And the way it makes it achievable is that it changes how you speak to yourself. It changes how you see yourself. The next time you're thinking about creating content, you'll speak to yourself as a content creator. So now Leaf is talking to themselves as a content creator compared to when we started. And the thing with talking to themselves as a content creator means that they have tricked their brain into believing that they are the person who naturally would be doing any of this. And that is how your self-image begins to change. That's it for the video, guys. No, I'm joking. So let's take Leaf out of the picture. Now they are a thriving content creator living their best lives. And let's come back to you. You have your own individual goals that you visualize your ideal self having. So then how do you translate this into real life and prevent your current self-image from getting in the way of this? First things first, you have to have a clear vision for yourself. You really need to think about that end goal and think about it in detail. The clearer your vision is, the easier it is for you to translate it into reality. Of course, there's effort required to this. You cannot just sit and imagine your ideal self and magically wake up as them. There's effort. But if you're able to positively talk yourself through the process, it just makes it more achievable for you. My point here is that if you want to change something outside yourself, it all begins by making internal changes. You want to change how your relationships are playing out. You want to change your body and how you feel about it. These are all things that require internal work. As we shift internally, then the external world begins to respond. It's not the other way around. And you know, the thing with our servo mechanism, our brain servo mechanism, is that it's self-correcting. So let's say you have this idea that you want to make a certain amount of money this year and use that money to make investments, but your current self-image around your financial capabilities is limiting. So you're like, okay, so now I'm going to start a new business this year. What your brain will start to tell you is, oh, okay, maybe now is not a good time to start the business. Or the last time I did this, it was so frustrating. And that's just your brain feeding into what it knows about what you think about yourself. It's just feeding into ideas of all the negative things that might happen. And the thing is, they might happen. It's not for sure that they will happen. But because you've already put yourself into this mindset, it's easier for you to affirm your own thoughts than to challenge them and deconstruct your self-image. So I'm going to give you guys just 2 very simple tips that you can stick to as you try to construct your new self-image of yourself. The first one is to let go of your past failures. Your failures do not define you, and dwelling on the past is of zero benefit to you, literally. Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen because that's how it happened. If you're sitting there asking yourself, but why did it have to happen like that? It's because that's how it was supposed to happen. And there's so much more peace in accepting that and seeing that for exactly what it is than trying to think about the what ifs and the should haves, because there's literally nothing you can do to change the past. Literally, what can you do to change that? Nothing, right? So let go of your past failures. Beyond whatever lesson it is that you learned, take that lesson and carry it forward and move on with your life. The second tip I want to say is that you need to also take time to relax. Which, for example, in the book, Dr. Maltz recommends meditation. I recommend meditation to everyone. I think everyone should meditate, and I specifically think mindfulness meditation is a very good way to relax, to let go of all the tension that builds up in our bodies, and then give yourself some clarity, mental clarity. And you see, the thing is, once you have a clear mind and your mind is relaxed, then it's easier to program success into your subconscious mind. So my challenge to you guys this week is to just really pay attention to your thoughts and what your brain is telling you, and start to challenge these thoughts in line with your ideal vision of who you actually want to be. Create the visualization of your future ideal self and start to speak to yourself as if you are this person. You want to start working out every week. You start speaking to yourself like, yeah, I'm a healthy person, and so we work out twice a week, and so I'm going to start working out today. Slowly but surely, you will notice your brain move from, but I don't do that, to, oh, okay, maybe that wasn't so bad. So then next week it's like, oh, okay, maybe I should do that again. And then after that it's like, yeah, I do this all the time. And that step-by-step transition is how you've changed your own self-image. And then slowly but surely you find that you've become who and what you previously thought you'd never be able to be. We can all change our self-images by retraining and expanding our minds. So make sure you build a positive opinion about yourself. Make sure you're speaking positively to yourself. Make sure you're consistently reminding yourself what the bigger picture is and what you're actually working towards. Have a vision for yourself. Go after it. Do the work. None of this is easy. I always say, none of this is easy. The shadow work is never easy. The process it's a process because there's ups and downs. But changing how you think about yourself is the perfect place to start. So with that, I'm going to end this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe for new videos weekly, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.